Yeah, so Little Legacy Library was born out of me sitting on a flight, coming back from a real estate mastermind in Florida, and I was flying back to Cleveland, Ohio. And as I was on that flight, I'm reading a book called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And as I'm thinking, I was just reading like the prologue. It wasn't even like into the book yet. And I was like, holy cow, these concepts are so powerful. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm getting these concepts at the age of 31 years old is how old I was when I was reading the book. And my daughter was just about to turn 2. And I was thinking like, I got to reprogram my thinking because we're all subject to the traditional school system, right? Like I went to public school in suburban blue-collar Cleveland, Ohio. They train you not to think like an achiever. They train you not necessarily to maybe pursue your dreams, but really within the confines of working for somebody else, right? Really within the confines of when the bell rings, you better be at your workstation. When the bell rings again, you can move to the next workstation throughout the day. Raise your hand to talk. Raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Raise your hand to ask for time off or to do anything that's outside of the confines of what the establishment, what the people who are in charge are telling you to do, right? And so, when you go through that for 12 or 13 years of your life, you cut out of school and you're like, I need to go and find a bell that rings in the morning, clock in, clock out when they tell me to, be told when to go to the bathroom, be told when I can go on vacation. And I think about the concept of like being an adult and having to ask to take vacation time. Are you freaking kidding me? You're a freaking adult, right? You don't need to ask to take vacation. I'm an adult. And that whole concept just blows my mind. And so understanding that when I got out of school, I started reading books like Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People and The Magic of Thinking Big. And it totally reprogrammed my thinking. But I remember reading the book on that flight and thinking, what if my daughter, who was right around 2 years old at the time, didn't have to be reprogrammed? What if she was just programmed the right way from very early on? And I know you've heard the statistic that kids are most malleable and their personalities are developed from the age of 0 to 5 years old or 0 to 6 years old. And I was thinking like, if there's any time to imprint these thought principles and these achievement principles into my daughter, it's going to be right now. It's going to be during this time frame of her being 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. So that way she just has it. Can you imagine what your child could accomplish if they're programmed that way, if they have the right insights and thought processes when they're that age, and they could probably launch businesses by the time they're 12 years old, and then have businesses that go through the growth phase while they're in high school, and then all of a sudden they're doing 7 figures or even 8 figures as soon as they get out of school, maybe more, maybe bigger, maybe better, maybe there's all sorts of different things that they can accomplish. And it's not only entrepreneurial, it's all different aspects. It's just dreaming big across the board. Anything that is important to them that they could pursue and make big impact on, not being subject to the system of saying, hey, you have to go and fit inside the lines and this is what you need to do. And the entire idea of instilling these thoughts and instilling these principles into my daughter from an early age, it lit a fire inside of me on that flight. And so I got off that flight, turned on my phone, I started searching as I was waiting for an Uber to take me back home. I started searching while I'm sitting there at the airport for personal development books for kids. Kids' personal achievement and philosophical books for children. And there was nothing. I couldn't find anything. There were a lot of books on how to be kind to people, how to live by the golden rule, how to work hard, and even some things about how to manage money a little bit, but nothing that really stood out about how to set goals, how to sacrifice things that you really care about for things you care even more about, and how to have a fire burning inside of you desire to achieve those goals and not let anything derail you from that. There wasn't anything like that. There wasn't anything about how to build influence, right? Like how to win friends and influence people, and how to have the thought principles of showing genuine interest in what other people are talking about, and how to not criticize, how to not condemn, how to not complain, and what that's going to do for you and the relationships in your life. Why aren't we taught that from an early age? Those soft skills are more important than the hard skills that they teach us in school, at least all the successful people that I know, they have that emotional intelligence. They have that personal awareness. They have a lot of these philosophies and thought principles. And I thought, can you imagine if the kids had that? And so, when I didn't find anything, I thought, guess what? This is a great opportunity. A lot of people think, oh, too bad there's not these books out there, and they move on with life. I've always seen it as an opportunity of like, oh, this is amazing. It could be a great opportunity. You can make a big impact on people's lives if you came up with something. Problem was my real estate business was just starting to take off, and I didn't have the time to commit to put this on my plate and write children's books. So it sat kind of dormant in the back of my head for the next year and a half. And when I was on vacation, we take vacation with a couple of good, close family friends every single year. And we were in the pool, the kids had gone down, and the grown-ups were just kind of hanging out in the pool, having a couple of drinks late night, and just talking about life and talking about business and talking about what we had going on. And I had brought up this concept, and my wife was in the pool, and my wife had just come home about a year prior from after having our second child, and she had a career. She's got 2 degrees, super smart, super capable, and was working at home, kind of looking for something else, I think, from a fulfillment standpoint and contribution type standpoint. And then my other good friend, one of my best female friends from high school, Erin, she was kind of in the same boat. Like, her husband got a job promotion and they had to move, so she had to leave her career. Super smart, super capable, ran marketing departments for large Fortune 500 companies. And I think she was kind of in a similar position. So, just in the pool, we were talking about the idea, and it really sparked something, I think, in both the girls, thinking, well, hey, Tim, like, you go keep on doing your real estate business, let us write the books. That concept of being able to work with 2 people that I care very much for and be able to build something together was a really cool concept. And so we sat down, we kind of put a little bit of a business plan together, and Kate and Erin, our business partners, it's a majority female-owned business, right? I'm the minority partner, and it's really cool, right? And so they took ownership over writing the books and creating the characters, and I was able to come in, and they were very respectful of the contributions that I could make, and didn't expect too much from me, but at the same time were very respectful of the contributions that I did care about. And I said, hey, here's the thought principles we need to boil down and convey in the first book and the second book and the third book. And so what we ended up doing is our business plan and our business model is to take those classic personal development books that have inspired so many business people and create children's versions of them. So Think and Grow Rich is probably one of the most, it's like one of the cornerstone personal development books out there. And so we developed Think Big and Go to Baseball Camp. And it's all about goal setting, it's all about achievement, it's all about knowing what you really care about, and having long-term goals, and sacrificing short-term pleasure for that long-term gain. And really, really amazing book. We have incredible reviews on it. I get messages on a weekly basis from entrepreneurs and friends who have bought the book, read them to their kids, and then their kids start businesses. And they start earning capital, and they start earning money, and then they start saving money in order to have a big goal that they want to achieve. So our second book, which came out in November of 2020, is based off of How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's How to Win Class President and Influence Peers. And it talks about a lot of those soft skills and the emotional intelligence and the awareness of how to interact with people, right? And how to make people feel important, and how to get them on your side, and having those ideas and having those concepts of just being kind to people, and people are going to remember how you treat them, right? Not what you say to them. And so, really, really powerful book, right? And then our third book is The Power of Positivity, based off of The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And a lot of that power of positive thinking is, you can overcome obstacles, you can overcome struggles with support and God's help, and a lot of those things. Having a positive mindset, you can overcome anything. And so this is a little bit of that, and a lot of gratitude. There's a lot of gratitude in here of, I think, we all have children that born into this day and age, they have benefits and they have blessings in their life that they don't realize, right? And they just take it for granted. And I grew up not having to overcome many adversities either. I grew up to a phenomenal family. My parents were very supportive. They lived on less to give us kids more. And but I respected, you know, what my dad had to sacrifice and all those kinds of things. You know, like we work very, very hard, and my kids are, you know, 5 and 3 years old right now. And I think about coming from the beach, right? Like, this is our house. We live on the ocean, you know. They think this is real life, and they think this is normal. And I think it's really important to realize or convey these principles to your kids that it's not normal. This book is a lot about having something to compare it to. And Ford, the main character, goes through some adversities in his life and trying out for the basketball team. And during that process, he's like, oh, woe is me, feeling bad for himself. And his dad's like, hey, let's hop in the car and let's go see really, you know, people that should feel bad for themselves but actually don't. And they go through and see a couple different settings that I think are really impactful and really create some awareness in the kids, and pretty powerful thought principles, and I think really conveys that gratitude to them. So the books keep on getting better and better. Aaron and Kate did a phenomenal job with them. I can brag on them all the time because I didn't write them, they did. They did a phenomenal job, and I'm actually even more excited for our 4th book, which is based off of The Richest Man in Babylon. It's called The Richest Kid in the Neighborhood. Really, really cool book and really cool storyline. And then we have a 5th book coming out based off of the one that actually was the impetus of the entire book series, which was The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. That's going to be our 5th book. Trying to get that out by the end of this year, 2021. But we'll see if it hits. So we'll have the whole series, 5 books, and then we got some ideas, some concepts, and some new product lines and new offerings that we're working on that I think will really be awesome for entrepreneurs and just achievement-oriented professionals to convey these thought principles to their children, and setting your kids up for to consume this information and internalize this information and really live by these thought principles. We want to make sure that those tools are available for you, so that way it makes your life a little bit easier, right? And you can lean on us, you lean on some of these tools to help instill these principles into your kids, so that way when they are ready to, you know, hit the world, they already have these skills, these philosophies imprinted into their brain, and they don't have to reprogram, right? They were programmed the right way from early on. So that's what Little Legacy Library is all about. I hope you enjoy the books. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is off of my Legacy Wealth channel from my real estate investment company. We have a series just for the Little Legacy Library portion of our business. And make sure you're connected with us on our Facebook group and our Instagram, so that way you can know about all the new books that are coming out, all the new offerings that we're bringing. We're working on a mastermind for entrepreneurs and their kids, so that way we can do a little retreat together in a pretty cool setting where the kids can learn their part, the entrepreneurs and the professionals can learn their part, and then we can kind of bring them together and do some fun stuff and really connect and really bond as a parent-child relationship, and work on some of these principles. So stay tuned for all of that. It's all coming. Keep an eye out for it, and appreciate you.